Debugging is a very essential skill for any good software developer, and so mastering the tool is very important in that aspect. IntelliJ provides several debugging techniques which can be used to efficiently debug your program and significantly reduce the debugging time. Some of these techniques are basics such as step over, step into, step out, reset frame, and some are advanced such as throw exception, false return, and jump to line. In this video, we're going to cover all of that. So if you're ready, let's get started. To demonstrate this, we are going to use a very simple program which shows the relationship between the teachers and the courses. Our program contains a class for course, and here we have the name, the level, and the credit level of the course. We also have a constructor and the getter and setter method to set and get the properties of this course, and we also have an equal and a hash code method which we have overridden. We also have the teacher class that contains the ID, the name, the constructor, the getter and setter methods to also get and set the properties of this class called teacher. And now in the main class, we simply have our main method where we define a list of teachers, and we've also defined a list of courses. The init course list adds items to our defined course list. Same thing for the add teacher method, it adds items to the teachers list. And here we have a map that shows the relationship between the courses, between the teacher and the courses they are giving. So the key of our map is the ID of the teacher, and the value of the map, that is the array list, contains the ID of the courses this teacher are supposed to give. And now we have a course called chemistry, and we have another course called course 1. At this line we are checking to find out if the course called chemistry exists in our list of courses, and at this line we're also trying to find out if the course called course 1 exists in our list of courses. And here we print out the results of our program, right? So let's run our program to find out what is the output. So after running our program, we can find out that the has chemistry is false. That is, our course list does not contain a course called chemistry, and has course 1 is also false. That is, our course list does not contain a course called course 1. But that is surprising, because if I go to our method called init course list, I'm expecting to have a course called course 1. So I need to debug this program in order to find out what is the issue, right? So to do that, I need to add a breakpoint here. The breakpoint is simply the point where the execution of our program will stop, so that we can take from there and continue. So I will click on the debug icon right here, and the execution of our program will start. Now our program has stopped at this point where we put the breakpoint, right? Now I can say step over to tell my IDE to run the line I'm currently at and move to the next line. So step over, I run this line, and I can see that the variable called teacher, which is actually an array list, has been defined. You can actually see it from here or from this window down here. So I can also say step over again, and now I can see that our variable called courses has also been created and is empty. Either I can see it from here or from this window down here. Now I want to see what happens in this init course list, so I can say step into in order to step into that method, right? Now I can see that our list of course called courses is being populated with 10 new courses, right, using a for loop. So I can step over and step over again. So if I step over several times, I have to step over 10 times in order to get out of the for loop. So I don't want to wait to step over 10 times. So I can just say step out, and a step out of the method and bring me to the next line of execution, which is add teachers. And here again I want to step into, and here again I notice that we have added this method, we add 10 new items to our teacher list. So I can step over and get into the for loop, and here I would like to step into, but just that here I can either step into the teacher constructor, or I can step into the add method. So you can use the tab button in order to determine which method you want to step into. So now I want to step into the teacher constructor, so I select the teacher and I click step into, and now I am in the teacher constructor. I can say step over, or let's say I'm okay with the teacher constructor. I would like to step out. Right now I can step over, or if I don't want to do that 10 times, I'll just say step out to get out of the teacher method. Now I'm right here, and I'm not interested in going through this method. I'll just like to go directly to where I have an issue, that is this line, because this is where I'm expecting the result to be true, but it happens that it's false. So I would like my program to run and stop at this point. So what can I do? I can put my cursor at this point and now go to more options and click run to cursor. So this will bring the execution of my program to where my cursor is pointing right now. So if I click run to cursor, you can see that my program ran and waited to this point where I'm currently at. So now I can say step into, right, to find out what is the issue. Here if I say step over, so the result is actually false, as I can see right here, or as I can see right here, it's false. That is surprising, right? So I would like to go out of this method first and step into it later on. So what I can do for that is that I can right click the method right here and say reset frame. Reset frame will actually reset and bring me to the point where I was just before entering this method. So I can right click on the method and select reset frame. Now I'm here. I can then step into again the hash course here. So I will step into it, and I will step again into the contain method right here, and it brings me to the equal method defined in our course class. So I can say step over, and this is where I have my return statement. I can select this line, right, and do a right click and say evaluate expression. Okay, you can see that the result is false, right? I have to check at this line what is wrong, but just before fixing the bug, I want to show you something. At this point, I can force this equal method to return true, even though right now we know it's returning false. But I can force this equal method to return true by right clicking on this. This is the method right here. Right click on the method and say false return. Here false return, I can say return me true. And if I do that and click OK, you'll find out that I can say step out, and here we find out that the result is now true. So you can see that result, this boolean variable contains a value true. Alright, so I can say, so if I play now here, if this is resume program is simply just play normally. So if I play right here, you will find out that hash chemistry is false, but hash courses is true. Even though this is a false return, even though right now it's false. Right now, if I run the program again, it's false, but I forced my result to be true. I just wanted to show you that before dipping into fixing the error. So let's play again the debug. So let's debug again. Alright, I will put my cursor right here, and I will say run to cursor. I'm right here now, and I will step into again, and I will see what is wrong with this line. Normally this name should be course1 and this name should be course1 for this to be true. That's correct. But the level is 400 and this level is 200. Oh, I see. That's where our program fails. But normally this is a bug. I did not want to do this. I just wanted to make sure that if two courses have the same name, then they are equal, because I'm expecting a different level to take the same courses. That is possible. So I want to remove this and now rerun our program. So I'll remove this and say I'll just play, or I can say rerun the program. So now I'm rerunning the program, and if I just say play, that's resume, you find out that we have the expected result. Now we have the expected result, but there's something that I would like to show you. What happens if there's an exception in your program? Can you test that? Yes, it's possible. So let's run again the program in debug mode. What happens if this method throws an exception? Right. So let's run to this guy, run to cursor. I will step into this method and I will do throw exception. So I would like to throw a new runtime exception. I would like to throw a new runtime exception with the message error. Alright, so if I say OK, you can see that we've thrown an exception, and with this you can actually test and find out what happens to your code when an exception is being thrown. Right, so if I say play here, you can find out here that even though our program right now does not throw an exception, but in case we throw an exception, this is what you will see. So you can actually check and debug the behavior of your program if an exception occurs. That is very important, right? One last thing I'd like to show you is called jump to line. It's a technique where you can select what are the lines you want to execute when debugging your program. But to do that, you have to make sure that you've installed the plugin, because it comes with a plugin. You need to install this plugin called jump to line before you can use that feature. So make sure you install the jump to line before you can use this feature. So this is the plugin I've already installed. I'll say OK, and now let's run again the program in debug mode, and you can see that this red arrow is being created by the jump to line plugin. And right here I can say step over, and here I will say step into. So when I'm right here, I can decide not to execute this for loop. So I can take this arrow and move it right here. That is, I'm telling the execution of my program to jump all of this for loop and continue from here. So if I say step over, you will notice that our course list is empty. That is, nothing has been added. So that section of the code was not executed. So I can again step into our teacher method, and I can again jump this whole section of the code by taking this arrow and bringing it down here. So I say step over. You will notice that the teacher list is also empty. So I can decide to execute this. Right, I can execute this line. You will also notice that if I am in the main method right now, I am in the main method, as you can see, I cannot carry this arrow. It will not work because the jump to line is not valid in the main method. It doesn't work in the main method. So to actually use that, you should use it in a method which is not the main method. Any method different from the main method, it will work, but it won't work in the main method. Right, so I can again run to cursor at this point, right, step into, and I can jump the execution. Let me see what happens. Oh, it's false because actually the default value for this is false. So if it did not execute this, it will return false, and I can say, you see, this will be false because I've not executed that line. I've jumped a line, and that is it. So as simple as that. If you have any question, please drop them in the comment section below, and I will be very happy to answer to your question. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what we do, share with anyone which you think may be interested, and see you in the next video.